Hello students, welcome to another inequality problem. The first step is to do the opposite of the add or subtract. So in this case, we're going to add 7 to both sides, line 2. Then we're going to go ahead and solve each side separately. So if we solve the left-hand side, a minus 7 plus 7 is 0. 38 plus 7 is 45. So we're right here. Now if we cover up the side without the letter, we have several options in this case. We could divide by a negative 5. But to show you a point, I'm going to go ahead and divide just by a 5. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So if I divide by a positive 5 on the left, I divide by a positive 5 on the right. Now, that's going to bring me a negative divided by a positive is a negative 1. Negative 5 divided by 5 is negative 1, and then I have the x. 45 divided by 5 is positive 9. Remember, if you have one negative sign in multiplying or dividing, you're going to end up with a negative. So a negative 1 times x is a negative x. This is where we have to pay attention. We don't want a negative x, so we're going to do the opposite of a negative, which is a positive x. But if we do the opposite on the left side, we also have to take the opposite on the right side. And then we also have to flip this inequality. So this is the inequality. It is a less than from the original problem, but because we're doing the opposite, we need to do the opposite of the inequality, and we flip the inequality. Usually I don't do it like that. Usually what I will do is I will come up here, and instead of dividing by a positive, I divide by a negative. So inequality problem. First thing we're going to do is add 7 to both sides. And then we can see that we get the 5x plus 0 and we get the negative 5x. Instead of dividing by a positive 5, this time I'm going to divide by the negative 5. But I'm going to recall the rule. When I divide by a negative, I have to switch the inequality symbol. So I'm dividing or multiplying by a negative. I'm going to switch the inequality symbol. So a negative divided by a negative is now a positive 1 times x. I'm going to switch the inequality from a less than to a greater than. And now I'm going to end up with a negative 9. 45 divided by negative 5 is negative 9. One more step. The 1 times x is x. X is greater than negative 9. Now we're going to check our answer. So right in place of that x and right below the x, I want to see you substitute it in. So we're going to take the negative 9, we're going to put it in place of the x, and we're going to end up with a negative 5 times negative 9. Try not to put a multiplication x here. A parenthesis next to a number means to multiply. Then we're going to minus 7. So I want to see your work. What's a negative times a negative is a positive 45. And what's positive 45 minus 7 is did the left side equal the right side? Remember, when we're checking the number, we're not focusing on the inequality. When we're checking the number, we want the left side to equal the right. So when you take your number in your answer, you substitute in the place of the x, and you solve the left-hand side, it should equal the right-hand side. So we have the right number. Now let's go ahead and put this on our number line. The number answer, the boundary line is negative 9. So I'm going to put negative 9 there as my boundary line. I'm also going to type in the opposite of negative 9, which is positive 9. Let's look at the inequality symbol. Is 0 included or 0 not included? If we look at the symbol, there is no equal sign. If it's an equal sign, it would be filled in. That means negative 9 would be included. In this case, negative 9 is not included, so I'm going to have an open circle. I need to put that right on the negative 9. I see some students putting it over here. No, that means negative 8. That means negative 2. If you put it right here, it means negative 1. If you put it over here, it means 1. It has to be right on the negative 9. The x is greater than negative 9. So you have to start right there. Now, in this example, it does not include negative 9. If it was equal to, we would have had this one. But it doesn't say equal to. It just says greater than negative 9. So I'm going to take my line and I'll put it next to, right on top of that negative 9. So it doesn't include negative 9, but anything that's bigger than negative 9. 4a. 4a says the graph or the number line. Is the 0 filled in or shaded? If you notice right here, this is your line. The 0 is a solution. So I want you to use your selector tool and you're going to come over here and say 0 is a solution. I want you to put this right by the 0. So I know that you know that 0 is shaded in on the number line, and what that means is that 0 is a solution to this equation. What about 9? Is 9 greater than negative 9? Yes. 9. Anything greater than negative 9. What about negative 1? Yes. Anything that's shaded in on this bar, that's what it means, and it keeps going on forever. All of those numbers are solutions to x. So 4a is a yes. 4b, you're going to take your texting tool and you're going to type in negative 5. In place of x, we're going to put 0 because it's the easiest number to solve. You're going to retype the rest. Checking my original problem, and I'm checking to see if 0 is a solution. 0 times negative 5 is 0. This is why I like 0, because it's the easiest number. However, maybe in a way for some of you it's not the easiest number, because some students forget right here that a 0 minus 7, 0 minus 7 is a negative 7. So right now we have a negative 7 is less than a 38. Is that a true or a false statement? Is negative 7 less than a positive? Yes. So I want you to take your selector tool and you're going to drag this right down here. So I can see that you know that 0 is a solution to that problem. 0 is a solution to the original problem. Now we have to retype our answer, and I'm going to type my answer over here. So my answer came out to be x is greater than 9. Now I want to check that by taking the texting tool, and I'm going to fill in x as 0. If x is 0, is 0 an answer in my answer? Is 0 a solution to this inequality? I replace x with 0. Is x greater than 9? Yes. So right below that, I want to see 0 is a solution to this inequality. If 0 is a solution in your answer, 0 should be a solution in the original problem, and 0 should be shaded in. So all three of these match, which means you have the right answer. Remember, if the number answer is not right first, sometimes this will not match. So make sure that we have the right number first.